Hey, it's Leopardess and welcome back to my channel. And in today's video we're going to talk about how I sealed my ends. So before we begin, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also follow me on Instagram at leopardess_. If you like any of the jewelry that I wear, make sure you guys check it out at leopardesscollection.com. I also have hair products for locks as well. You can get 15% off right now using the promo code winter2021. So I know I've been away for like a month now, but I thought it'd be good just to take some time away. Maybe 3 weeks, I think it has been. But I thought it was good to take some time away, especially with like work. I was like overwhelmed with like work I have to do for my job. So I was like, you know what, it's nice to just take a break for myself. So I took like a mini vacation, but I'm back. I did upload a video on spirituality with locks, but I had some music in it that got it taken down. So I was like, you know what, forget it. But in today's video, I'm gonna tell you all the deets about how to seal your ends, also about pointy ends. So I'm constantly asked about how I achieve these pointy ends. So first, let me start by telling you this. The way you get those things is to don't do anything yet. So if you're like in your starter phase process, the last thing you want to do is to be worrying about your ends. You really shouldn't. Do not cut your ends, do not touch it, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And I'm gonna tell you why. So I didn't really start trimming my hair until like a little past after the first year. And the reason why is because I wanted the hair to form a ball. So the reason why I'm telling you guys not to do anything beforehand is because I did it and I saw the effects. So for example, say if I had a strangly end, right? And I wasn't ready to get rid of it or something of that sort. But say that this was strangly, right? You know how your starter locks be looking strangly sometimes, and you say, like I'll wrap it around and create a ball. That doesn't help. So don't do that. That's something I used to do constantly, and it honestly was just a waste of time. What really worked the best to seal my ends was waiting until the end knotted. So the end, as far as end knotting, your ends won't always knot completely. They will, some of them will create little curls like this lock right here. So this lock is pretty much sealed. And what I did is that this had some like ends that were basically falling off. They were like kind of straight, and I waited until I saw this part form. So imagine there was hair growing, long hair, and you just cut it and this ball is here already. So that's what you would do. So you don't make your own seals, don't do any of that. Wait till that hair is knotted in between the piece that you can just cut off, and then you will have sealed ends. And I promise you it is worth it. Because when your hair is in that transition stage, it's really not done yet. Like, you don't know how your final lock is gonna come out. And I'm telling you that straight up. Like, me at 5 months did not look like me at 10 months. Like, what direction my hair is going in. Back then, within that first year, it was completely tricky. So I didn't know what my hair was up to. Which is why I think it's very important for you to wait until you reach that 1 year mark and then be like, okay, under this strand, under this light tip of hair, I see the ball forming, so I can just cut. So I never cut my hair unless I see that ball that forms under, that ball forming within the stray hair. Now, I've been asked about my pointy ends, and it's funny because I feel like sometimes we don't appreciate what we have on ourselves, but other people tend to like it. And then you're like, oh, you really like these pointy ends, or oh, like you like my locks, I don't like my locks, type of thing. Like in a way where you just really don't see the beauty within your locks. So I didn't like my pointy ends. I got rid of a lot of my pointy ends. I guess they still look very pointy. The pointiest one I have still is this one. Now, people have asked me how I've created them, and I'm gonna tell you the honest truth. So this was created because I did not trim my hair when I went and got it locked. So I had some split ends. So the hair wasn't uniform going down. So for example, you know, before trim, you cut off the part that is just, you know, not good. That's the part that formed these pointy ends. So if you want pointy ends and you're watching this video and you're thinking about getting locks, keep your ends, because that's how you will get pointy ends. That's how I got pointy ends, and it was because the hair was thinner in that section. So it really isn't anything special. It just happens like that. So I do trim my hair pretty often, and as I trim, I take off more of the points because it was like a drastic like point. Let me see. Because as you can see here, it was very drastic between the thickness of this lock and the point. So it was even longer than this, guys. I cut it, like I slowly trim it. So I'm not gonna trim anymore. But when it was really long, that's when I would take my time and trim it. So like I said, do not do anything to your ends right now, especially if you have starter locks. If your locks are more mature, look for that ball underneath. And I want to find an example for you guys so you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, I think this is a good one, because right here, and you see how right there looks harder. So I know that that part has locked up pretty well, so I would just trim off right here. But if it's still like very open, that's when I don't trim. So that's how you seal your ends. You seal your ends by allowing your ends to do its thing. And I honestly feel like sealing your ends isn't something that's talked about a lot, but it's because you shouldn't really do it. It's like kind of like the locking phase, as far as you should allow your ends to lock and then cut off any excess hair that is not needed, or any ends that are just like breaking or falling off. But in a starter lock phase, just leave it. Don't worry about the ends. Those ends will be beautiful one day and exactly how you want it. People don't really believe me when I say that my locks looked a mess in the starter lock phase. It really did. In the moment, to me, it didn't look that much of a mess, but I remember the first 5 months, I was like, I don't know, like, child, this is something else. So I'm telling you guys, for your ends, it is one of those leave it alone until it's time to trim it processes, and I promise you, you won't regret it. But if you cut it prematurely, it may not look exactly the way you want it to. I think what makes locks interesting is it's one of those things where if you leave it alone and you let it do its thing, it comes out with its own unique style, you know what I mean? So for me, I went in there, I didn't trim my ends, and I came out with this. Yes, you know, since then I have trimmed my hair, but as you guys see, my hair is like on a slant, and that's just because my hair was always like cut like this. So you can kind of make the direction of what you want your locks to be. If you want layered locks, go in there with layered hair. Like that, it works, in my opinion. It definitely works. But for the sealed ends, you just have to allow the end to seal on its own and then trim off any loose hair. And I promise you, it'll be worth it. You don't want to get too scissors happy in the beginning stages, but I hope this has helped. So for those of you who have sealed your ends and said something, you know, that I haven't done, because I don't know all the techniques out there, I just know what I do in my journey. One has sealed their ends and they've used a different method. Instead of just waiting for your hair to seal and trimming at any, you know, loose ends, then let me know in the comments below. Feel free to share experience with your ends. If you have any further questions, feel free to put them in the comments below too. I will answer them. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I've missed you guys as well. But please remember to like and subscribe to this channel. Also follow me on Instagram at leopardess_. And if you're interested in any of my products, make sure you guys check them out at leopardesscollection.com. But I appreciate you guys. Bye.